Hello students, in this video we are going to see transport layer and its services. So as we know that a transport layer protocol is responsible for delivery of messages to the appropriate processes. In this figure we can see that Alice host in the Sky Research company creates a logical connection with Bob's host in the scientific books company at the transport layer. The two companies communicate at the transport layer as though there is a real connection between them. This shows that only two end systems, that is Alice systems and Bob's computer, use the services of the transport layer. All intermediate routers use only the first three layers. This transport layer protocol provides various services such as process to process communication, addressing, ICANN ranges, encapsulation and decapsulation, multiplexing and demultiplexing, flow control, error control, and importantly sliding window, congestion control, and also it provides connectionless services and connection oriented services. We will be seeing all these things in this video and in the next videos. A process is an application layer entity or a running program that uses the services of the transport layer. Although there are few ways to achieve process to process communication, the most common way is through the client server paradigm. The process on the local host, which is called as a client, it needs services from the process usually on the remote host called as a server. So this figure shows the client and server are communicating the processes by means of internet. This addressing through port numbers is very important. To define the process, we need second identifier called as a port numbers. In the TCP/IP protocol suite, the port numbers are integers between 0 and 65,535, that is totally 16 bits. The client program defines itself with a port number called as a short-lived port number. The TCP/IP has decided to use universal port numbers from servers. These are called as a well-known port numbers. There are some exceptions in this rule. For example, there are clients that are assigned with a well-known port numbers. Every client process knows that the well-known port numbers of the corresponding server processes. ICANN ranges is the next services offered by this transport layer protocol. ICANN is expanded as Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. It is an internationally organized non-profit corporation that has responsibility for Internet protocol addresses space allocation and protocol identifier assignment and country code, top level domain name, system server and management functions. This ICANN ranges provides three types of port numbers. The first one is well-known ports, that means the port ranging from 0 to 1023 which are assigned and controlled by ICANN. These port numbers are called as well-known port numbers. Next one is registered ports, that means the port ranging from 1024 to 49151 and it is not assigned or controlled by ICANN. They can only be registered with ICANN to prevent duplication. Third one is dynamic port, the ports ranging from 49,152 to 65,535 and they are neither controlled or registered. They can be used as a temporary or private numbers. The communication is provided using a logical connection, which means that the two application layers, which can be located in different parts of the globe, assume that there is a direct connection through which they can send and receive message. Next important thing is the socket address. That means a transport layer protocol in the TCP suite needs both IP address and the port numbers at each end to make a connection. The combination of an IP address and the port number is called as a socket address. This encapsulation happens at the sender side. When a process has a message to send, it passes the message to the transport layer along with a pair of socket addresses and some other pieces of information which depends on the transport layer protocol. The transport layer receives the data and adds the transport layer header to it. The packets at the transport layer in the internet are called as user datagrams, segments, or packets, and it depends upon what transport layer protocol we use. So this process of adding these payload message to the data which we are sending is called as encapsulation, and in the receiver side the reverse process is called as decapsulation. Whenever an entity accepts items from more than one source, this is referred to as multiplexing or many to one. Whenever an entity delivers item to more than one source, this is referred to as demultiplexing. This figure shows the communication between a client and two servers. Three client processes are running at the client side, say P1, P2 and P3. The processes P1 and P3 need to send requests to the corresponding servers processing running in the server. The client processes P2 needs to send a request to the corresponding server process running at the another server. The transport layer at the client side accepts three messages from three processes and creates three packets. It acts as a multiplexer. So that is why we call this process is called as a multiplexing process. The packets 1 and 3 use the same logical channel to reach the transport layer of the file server. Fine, we have come to the end of this topic. We will see the next topic in the next video. Thank you.